for, let's say, 6 weeks, that are truly committed for 6 weeks, and that it's not that casual. You wouldn't have a workshop with Miles Davis and say, we'll come now and then, you know. You better be there, and you better be there way before time, you know. And so I hope Lateef comes on, but with or without Lateef, what we're looking for, Robert, is Robert, you want to call Dr. Robert or
No,
Spirit?
Robert's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your mama call you?
Bobby.
Bobby. Okay, Bobby.
No, my sister taught all of her children after they were grown that this is Uncle Robert.
This is Uncle
And
Robert.
not Uncle.
What were they calling you before?
Well, Uncle Bobby. That's what I'm saying. All their lives they were saying Uncle Bobby, and then all of a sudden she said, "No, this is Uncle Robert." They were adults by then.
Uncle Robert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of them called me Uncle Bobby. Some of them called me Uncle Robert. But my mom called me Bobby or Bobo.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what the situation was.
My dad called me Robert Sidney.
Oh, okay. Well, we can be casual in that way here. We call each other good names.
All right, we have gone live now, and so I guess the drum workshop has begun. So I guess, Buddy, take it away.
Okay. My name's Buddy Jones, and there's no shame in my name. I'm 80 years old and trying to find out how this new world is operating in the digital world. A lot of things I've done throughout life, but this digital world is a whole new challenge. But one of the things that I've been doing for a long time is playing drums. And I think our situations, Robert, is similar in the sense that I just picked up a drum and started playing it. I didn't have drum classes. We just start banging on things, you know. And eventually got into some classes. But in terms of African music, I just learned African music by listening to people in the neighborhood. And we would get together and just play music. And we came up with what we thought were new beats. That's what we thought, because we didn't know any better. We knew that, you know, it felt good to play them. So over the years, I've always played some kind of a drum, from school band to bongos during the Calypso period. Drumming has been a part of me, but for the last 15 years, I've been studying under a drum master from Guinea, Wadaba Kuruma. And he's what I call my drum master, mainly because he plays traditional African music. And what I've discovered is a lot of the things that I had been playing over the years was African music. I just didn't know it. So I think a way of saying it is, for the last 15 years, I've been able to put the proper labels on what I've been doing. And in the process, I've discovered that drumming all over the world has its own language. And they vary from place to place, but basically you can identify a lot of drummers based on, you know, their basic understanding of their own beats. So the purpose of this particular conversation is that we have a local guy, Lateef. I don't know if you know Lateef or not. Okay. Everybody could unmute. There's no, we can't hurt anybody. So anyway, he's quite an authority on drumming throughout the world.
Mainly and history.
Huh?
And and the history of drumming and everything like that too.
Right. And people have a tendency to claim things that are not theirs. And if I ask my drum master, where did it all start? He'll definitely tell you it started with his music, and on and on and on. People claim it,
Mhm.
but I find that the more I find out about different folks' drums, the more I find out not only about drumming, but about their culture and about their ways. And Latif seems to be pretty knowledgeable about the ways of drumming. Would you say in particular through Africa, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, he's pretty knowledgeable about just history in general, not even just drumming, but
What is his name again?
Latif,
Latif,
yeah,
as in Yusef Latif?
yes. And
Okay.
welcome Tino.
uh,
We got Tino Reyes with us, everyone.
he's been for the last 2 years. I mean, he's been drumming for many years, but for the last 2 years, he's been teaching in the state prisons,
Mm.
getting some pretty good results in terms of drummers learning to cooperate with each other. And Robert could help me there, but that's the basis of music. That's the basis of jazz, of people cooperating with each other. And so he's having some pretty good results at the state prisons, teaching the inmates, and some of the staff are starting to jump into it also.
Mm.
The challenge he has is now we have COVID. So that program, until COVID is under control, is down. I'll deviate here for a second. How many people are familiar with Synanon?
I've heard of it. I mean, over there on the coast,
There's a drug rehab.
drug rehab. Yeah.
Tino said he did.
Chino,
10 years. And we learned about Synanon and the therapeutic communities.
exactly. Exactly. Well, Synanon has always been controversial. And Synanon board of directors and Synanon doesn't exist anymore. But it was the first therapeutic community to address the challenge of drug addiction.
Okay.
And prior to Synanon, the medical profession said there's no such thing as a cure, that the best you can do is institutionalize or medicate someone who's on drugs. And Synanon challenged that and was successful because their formula was very simple. Criminal A helps criminal B, and criminal A gets the most help by helping criminal B. And you find that in most therapeutic and intentional communities, that the more cooperation there is, the more solid the community stands. Where that relates to drumming is that there are now over 14,000 therapeutic communities throughout the world, if not more, based on the model that Synanon created, I'm sorry. And it's being copied over and over. So my thought with Latif is that if in Synanon, drug addicts were curing curing each other, and that's a model that's been used all over, why not the same with drumming? Why isn't there a international drumming consciousness of the importance of drumming? And so with Latif, he's looking for 6, 8, 12, doesn't make any difference, but at some point we want to start start learning from him the basics and the evolution of drumming. My question would be, at this point, are there some people who are willing to step out and say, I'm interested, I'd like to see where that this kind of drumming can take us? My first thought is, we live in such a polarized culture that it's even hard to have a conversation. You know, you got to walk on some eggshells so you won't insult somebody. And I say that the more understanding you have about the subject you're in, the less likely you're to have a conflict. So I see drumming as a very therapeutic tool and educational tool. And just like to know if there's some people out there that would like to have a conversation about the importance of that. And the floor is open.
For natives, that was the heartbeat of our tribe. You know, it was in drumming. The Aztec drummer was off beat. He was sacrificed because what he was doing was for the gods.
Right.
You know, and I'm so happy. Just over a year ago, right before this darn shutdown, I bought my cajon, which I was looking for you, buddy, but I had your name wrong. I was looking for the wrong name on Facebook.
The wrong buddy.
Yeah, but I am interested in buying because I love the boom your box makes. Mine makes a thump, and so I'm interested in purchasing one that you make. We can talk about that later.
Okay.
But I can play any rhythm with my hands. I don't know. I've never been behind a full drum set. I don't know if I have the hand-feet coordination, but I know I have it with my hands. Loved, what you did at a couple of events, the activism events that we had out there, in the community, and
Right.
and then you backed me one time for poetry, and it
Right.
blended wonderfully together.
Right.
So I have a dual bachelor's. My bachelor's is in English and another bachelor's in ethnic studies.
Yeah.
So I took every ethnic studies course I could as an elective because I love culture. And when it was time for me to graduate, my counselor said, well, you have enough credits to get it to a bachelor's. So I went ahead and got that. Wasn't my original intention, it was just out of love. So I trust you. Actually, I trust everybody I see here as good-hearted, good-meaning, intended people, with the greater good of the community and in the world at large. I'm open to discussions on drumming and its originations to around the world. I bring the rock and hip hop beats of today, and of course I'd love to learn our history of drum, both native and African and all sorts, because all of them is what led up to today's beats and rhythms as we know them. I think it would only add to my foundation and repertoire of what I can bring to future events. Me, I wouldn't take anything personally or offense that our colleagues have to say, as we're just talking about the love of music and how it is that we can share it. And once I learn some of the basics, I would be honored to be among the teachers to pay it and pass it forward.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice. So you have your cajon with you, Tino?
Yes.
And have you had any lessons at all, or?
Everything I did that I listened to music on the radio, and it's right basic beat, country, R&B, rock, rap. Right? Most music uses that beat, you know, and variations, right? So I can, if I hear it, I can mimic it with my hands.
Yeah.
And so when I got the cajon, that first month right before the shutdown, I got to take it to a poetry jam, a music jam, an activist event, and a church service. And so each week I got to use it at a different event. And it was really cool and it was really fun. And I even I got invited by a band in Hanford called The Righteous Ones. And for about an hour and a half straight, they played and I drummed for them. And, you know, this is a classic rock band. And of course, they played a big variety of music. They did a country song, mostly classic rock, and they did a few more modern, like soft rock songs. I was watching them, I was keeping rhythm. And towards the end, I was really starting to get comfortable. You know, I came home like a teenager with, you know, sweaty and smelly armpits. And I was proud of that because I drummed for an hour and a half straight. It was really fun. But the more I just kind of let myself go and let my soul drum to what sounded like would go well to the music they were playing, and just trying different things. And I would try softly. And if it felt right, then I would start to, you know, drum and bang harder and do some more intricate stuff. You know, and I love it. I love it. So
Well,
whether we're going to, you know, add this to continue in activism or music or poetry, it is going to become a lifelong tool of mine. You know, so I found a Meinum, MEIN, Meinum. So I looked it up. It says it's like about a $200 drum, and I got it from a church guy in Fresno for $80. And so it seems like a pretty good deal, and it's got a decent sound. But the ones that Buddy uses, I really love that deeper
a
boom.
little story about the drum. This is a cajon, you know, the box drum. So a local artist here, who's a clay artist, got a call from a friend in New York looking for a drum. And she couldn't find a good drum in the stores. So he called me because she wanted a cajon. She didn't want a djembe. And I called my friend in New Mexico who made her a drum and sent the drum to her. And when I called her, I said, "How's the drum working out?" She said, "This is weird. I can't play this drum. This drum plays me," you know, which is pretty cool when you realize that we have to realize, Robert, you can help me out here again, but a lot of the stuff that you hear in music today is profit driven. It has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with spirituality. It has nothing to do with just having good time. And so it is profit building, you know, motivated. I mean, you got to remember they got little rappers calling people bitches and hoes and all kinds of stuff just because it makes money. These people are not interested in the music. They're interested in anything that makes money. So it gets watered down quite a bit. And the kind of thing that I'm interested in is what you call, who's familiar with passport beats?
A little bit.
What's the purpose of a passport?
To travel.
to travel where?
Overseas,
Just
usually.
overseas,
or across out of your country.
out of your country? And
Well,
why do you have to get the passport?
you're gonna need one to travel in the United States now if you don't have a real ID.
Right, right. And what is the purpose of that, though?
It would
To show
allow
who you are.
Show who you are. Supposedly, it says this is who you are.
you to travel.
Yeah. If you're going to travel, you need to know the permission to travel to that particular country is that there's some assumptions that you ascribe to those norms while you're there, that you're going to participate with the culture while you're there. You're not there to disrupt anything. You're, different strokes for different folks, and whatever they do there, when in Rome, do as Romans do, So the idea of a passport is a ticket to go to, permission to go to different places. And without a passport, you can't go. You can't go. Now, there are things called passport beats. And what does that mean when I say a passport beat?
I think, is it like you know how to play with others from kind of have a background in drumming, so you can play with anyone from anywhere.
Here's a way of viewing it, and I don't know where this came from, but you can listen to other cultures' music without any instruction. When somebody's off, right? Somebody, you're off, man. That's not what everybody else is playing. You're over in some other territory, and you most likely will be asked to leave. If you take your passport to another country and behave in another way, what are they going to do?
Either going to be arrested or asked to go back.
Send you home, right?
So
and that's the same with a band, right?
But before you get too far,
yeah.
Today I'm proud to tell y'all that I had a chance to get on 2 different record companies, one in LA, which was the Mexican Militia, and the other one up north in Stockton, which was Darkroom Familia. And you could go into the record stores and see both of their albums that they were producing at that time. Fortunately, it was gangster rap, and they were profiting from these wars on each other. It wasn't East Coast, West Coast. It was Northern and Southern California, beefing with the gang stuff. And I could not, with good conscience, tell my sons, no gangs, no drugs, no violence, and then get on that label and profit from what those guys were doing.
Right.
So that's the heart I bring you today. So while I missed out financially at that time, and maybe, some possible fame and fortune, I can live with that it wasn't dirty money, so I ended up shifting some to activism and gospel rap and singing, and more kind of just bringing the history, and those who would listen, I think, benefited from it.
Right.
The thing I want to touch on with being off, I don't know if you guys remember the early days of this Mexican, like Spanish speaking bands trying to do rap, and it was off. And Mexico's music is largely polka influenced. So you've 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, the waltz. Right. So how are you going to beat match a 3 count over a 4 count? Like, it's really tricky. And so a lot of that first sound was off. Likewise, the first Christian rock singers that were trying to do Christian rap, it just sounded off. And a lot of that had to do with the rhythms and them not understanding that if they just took 2 4 counts and just talked them over 1 4 count, it would have worked just fine, right. In time and rhythm with the syllables of line for line, rhyme for rhyme. Once I figured that out on hip hop, it was on. And the biggest compliment I've got is people will tell me, wow, you know, is that a Tupac song? I never heard that one before. And me just say, no, thank you. I wrote that, right? Because I figured out the rhythms, and of course coming with positive, heartfelt, strong, you know, messages. But totally with you there. And once I show people that the 4 count, okay, yeah, it sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's boom, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4. And once you have that, you know, the natives use it. Ya he hey, ya he hey, ya hey.
Go.
That 4 count is the basis for most of the rhythms, as you know, to keep time in and out. And when it's off, yeah, you just feel it. It doesn't even feel right. it's a crazy.
You know, you get the vibes that you're not welcomed.
Yeah.
You know, and the idea is that if you had 8, 10, 12 people who understand the historical origin of what we call passport beats. In other words, when you listen to Native American music, you got to get that bum, boom, 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 boom. Once you're there, then you're in, you know, but you can't go boom, 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 boom. So the idea is that if we could get a group of people that are interested in not only learning the disciplines of these rhythms, but the origin of these rhythms, then we can go anywhere and do anything. I don't play what I call, I'm not a soloist. I will play a drum to make some noise, but I don't call myself a good soloist. But I can sit with any group for a period of time, and if I listen long enough, I know where I fit in. And it sounds like you did that with that rock band. You can't, not anybody can go play for an hour with a band that they've never heard before. It's not just your playing ability, it's your listening ability also. And so you generalize on that, then you say, here's one. Sting played a concert with Wynton Marsalis. And after the concert, Sting was sitting on a table or bench or something, and someone came over to him and said, Sting, you were hot, man. You were really hot. That was something. And Sting said, I don't know if I was that good. I said, why? He says, well, Wynton just told me, he says, man, you were a motherfucker. You know? So he said that? He said, yeah. He said, you know, in the Black community, that's the highest compliment you could be paid. Right? Because he knew where that came from. He knew where it came from. And my notion is that if we have a group of people, because there's not one of us who knows it all. I know I don't. But after learning and respecting that all cultures have their own passport rhythms, you can set in. You can be a part. In my, more than soloing, my thing is, can I play with this group? Can I fit in? And you generalize from that, which is the same of the conversations we have to do. Somebody says, well, what are you? I'm a Republican. Well, we're so crazy, we'd walk away from that person and say, I'd never play with a Republican. Well, what does that have to do with being a Republican? It's music. It has nothing to do with anything. Do you play this music? Yes. I don't care what your politics are. Do you play this music? And even if you didn't, are you interested in playing my music? So we get these exchanges and enrich our lives that way. And God, I wish Latif was here because, well, you sound like you're pretty knowledgeable also. But
Hey, buddy. I have my drum here, and I was just curious. Are you able to just teach a few rhythms real quick?
Sure. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. The basis of all communication is what? The basis of communication? Calling
Response.
and respond. Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Justin.
Where you from, Justin?
Visalia.
How come you didn't ask me my name, Justin?
I was thinking about it. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was. I don't want to mess
That's
up
okay, but what were we doing?
It was a conversation.
It's a call and a response. Okay. Before we touch the drum, let's do this. Hey Doc, can you take your mute off? There we
Okay,
go.
there you go.
Justin, take your mute off. Okay, is everybody in?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Follow me, okay? Just respond to me. Dude. Not together. Dude. Dude. No. Together. Can't play no drums unless you're together. I don't know if it's the acoustics here. But
it may be, you might be hearing just a little delay because of Zoom, but
okay, let's
Yeah.
try it again. Dude.
Two,
Dude.
two,
Dude.
two, two.
No, it's not working.
No, it's not working. The idea is that we think playing the drum is the thing. In other words, where did the first drumming come from? Anybody have any idea? Well, it might be a myth, but it's a good one. The first one came from baby and mama. Because what does mama do first? Does she say to the kid, when you grow up, I'm gonna send you to Harvard? That's not the first thing, right? First, she makes a comforting sound.
Cool.
True?
Cool.
What's a comforting sound?
Cool.
Ooh, shh. Comforting sound, right? And she might go doot, 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 doot. And the baby will try to imitate, right? Then once she gets going, what's the next thing she does? Okay. So let's try that. We can see it. Can everybody see our hands together?
No, we're on a different tone.
2, 3.
We gotta have a beat.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh. Now you can build on that.
Right. And it's funny because that's what I was doing on the table in the beginning.
1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Try it again. Just do it on the table so we can see if I can hear you. going to put a surprise to that, okay? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Yes. Okay. Here's the same thing.
I don't, buddy. I think you I think you have you don't have original sound enabled.
How's that? Okay.
Wait, it's still kind of low.
I'll do that on the box drum for you. Keep going. Now, so what does everything start with? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. Do that on your drums. 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Just 1. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Here's what I'm learning. Since this is a learning curve, excuse me, drumming as I've seen it so far on Zoom doesn't work because of the different times.
Right.
It won't work. It seems like if you have one drum, did you pick up when I was playing one drum? Did it come through okay?
Yeah.
But it's the passport beat's not working there, man.
No.
It's not working. But what is just as important is there's a possibility, and this is again open to dialogue. How do we do it now? How do we do something like this? For instance, maybe someone could say, okay, we're going to do a South American class today, and that could be recorded, and the next week we'll see who got their beats down, and then make corrections, and the payoff comes when we all can meet together, or have something where the acoustics work together. It's not working together now.
Well, it worked. If we follow you, if you know, it worked. It was fine when we were following you.
Uh-huh.
When you were
What?
casual,
I said, are you sure you want me to? Don't want me to?
But
we in a family conversation?
Oh, and I think Dr. Robert was talking to someone, but I muted him. But yeah, if you wanna lead, we can follow you.
Okay. Um, let's go back to the conversation for a minute, then we'll
Okay.
drum a little. Okay. What is your response to the idea? And this is cool in terms of Zoom, of having a weekly class for X amount of weeks.
I'm sorry. I got to step out for a little bit. I'll be back. Thank
All
you.
Okay.
right. You're not going to leave us permanently, are you?
It's okay if you have to, but
Okay.
we'll be.
What is the possibility of us? One, getting a commitment from even if it's just this group, that every week at the same time we'll have a little session. And I want to make it clear in the sense that I only know what I know. I don't call myself a drum authority. I only know what I know. There's so many different ways of teaching and learning.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get a group of people who are interested in studying the roots of African drumming and bring it up to where we see that is still in our culture today. You know, now you
Yeah.
have to understand that, like in Wadaba's case, that music is from 5,000 years ago. Hey, Tino?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me any music today that's going to last for 5,000 years?
Not today.
Not today, right? So if we had a group of people who understood whose shoulders we're riding on, I think we can make music for today. A lot of the music that I hear, this is my own personal opinion, it's made to numb me. You know, I don't feel inspired. I don't even feel blue about it. The music I feel, I just said, what the hell is that? I just missed. There was a lot of sound, but it didn't have good harmony or didn't have good melody. But it seems to me it'd be fascinating to get 10 or 12 people who can play all kinds of music. And I'm off in the clouds with this one, but you know, you go to, we played a small gig, the other day, with the Clovis College. Were you part of that?
I heard about it.
Okay. What did you hear?
I heard it. I heard that Waterba and KO it did a drum class at the Clovis Community College.
Okay. Be honest here now. If they said this drum master's coming, was from West Guinea, and he plays traditional African music, and he's bringing in his troops, what would you expect to see?
I'm not sure. I mean, just traditional drumming.
Oh,
Traditional dress, traditional drums, traditional music.
right. Well, there was no traditional, there was some traditional clothing, okay? B, none of it was American or Western music. 3, Wadaba was the only African. I'm African American. Keo is Irish Japanese. And the other guy was Japanese. Chinese. That what constituted the music. But guess what it sounded like? Sound like African music. Okay? That same group can take that Mexican waltz and sound it just like Mexican music. You see what I mean? And then they can play some Irish music. So when you go to a concert with people who understand the basic passport rhythms and a respect for each other's culture, you can present a world concert, a world percussion concert. That's Has anybody seen that before?
I haven't.
Okay.
At Fresno State, they used to put on a
Talk up
cultural
a little
day.
bit.
When I was going to Fresno State, they would put on a cultural day, and
Yeah.
you would have um, the machete dancers, right? And it looks like they're going to kill each other, and as they're
Yeah.
they're doing these machetes, right? And then they had the Hmong dancers in those dresses with the Hmong music, and they were swaying real beautifully. And then they had the Aztec dancers, and I swear I've seen that 500 years ago. That woke my love of my cultures when I first saw the Aztec dancers, dancing, to the drums in full regalia. And so it was kind of a taste of many worlds and a lot of different kinds of music. It was a beautiful experience for me, to get so many different kinds of music and culture and rhythm,
Right.
drums and dress and dance and food.
Well, um, could you imagine for a second a group that represents all of these cultures on one stage,
Hmm.
playing different sounds, different rhythms, and uh, black guy like me singing mariachi music. I mean, it could be all kinds of things, and it could be in respect of other cultures. Um, I think you're a little young for this, Bo, but in the 50s and the 60s, uh, there were all kinds of group on the campus that I went, but they all hung out with each other. They stayed pretty separate. There wasn't tension or um, or hostility, but there was a respect for each other's culture. And when the tension came is when we realized there's a lot of inequities in this system. Now you're mad at one culture or the other culture, you know. Um, and we haven't been able to get that all back together since that kind of, well, it hasn't changed. I mean, look at the figures. There's some places in this country where um, black people are only getting 16% of vaccinations compared to whites. Why? Those crazy paradigms that we can't break. But my thought is people dancing, eating, drinking, and playing drums
Mhm.
is a world culture, you know. And I could see things like, let's say you have a mariachi dance, and they show it in the pure culture, and then have other cultures join it, so you can see this mixture of people all doing we can call in this case passport dances, which is as long as you do what the culture does, you can do the dance.
Mhm.
That's a big project, but I think a place to start would be with drumming. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down for it.
What do you think, Tim?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think what we can do is to, if you guys want, um, I would do this again next Sunday.
Oh yeah, that could work.
yeah.
And then we could try to recruit some people.
Okay.
And I have a couple of ideas on
What
how
should
the
can you get to your mic a little closer or turn it up a little bit?
I have a couple ideas on how the cantor can work if you demonstrated the drum you want, and then one person at a time, we repeat it back to you, you'd be able to hear if we've got the rhythm.
Right.
Because of the lag in time and space, it's going to be hard for all of us to sound, even if we are coming in at the
To
same
hear each
time,
other.
for the sound to come through. that we are coming in on time, because I was watching and it looked like we were clapping at the same time, right? But some of the sound might not have been getting there at the same time,
Uh-huh.
right? But if you um, there's an old rock song that it begins, "We're not gonna take it," right? That's the introduction, and no, it goes right. We're not gonna take. Right. So if it's a 4 count, an 8 count, whatever bite it is that you want to hear play back, of course, starting simple, you let us hear it and then we repeat it back to you one at a time. I mean, there's only three of us right now. I think that's manageable, as opposed to, as our group grows, um, we might look at different venues, such as a safe, 6 foot apart gathering at a park, for example,
Yes, yes.
where we're safe, we're following the guidelines, but then you're present enough to where you
Well,
could jump.
one of the things we can do is to Zoom it several times and then meet. Zoom it and then meet. You know, that way, I think your attendance is going to be much higher because Zooming is not a problem to set an hour aside. So,
Yeah.
fellas, I'll be right back. I have to make a nature call.
Okay. But yeah, I think that was good call. Yeah, like one at a time.
Yeah.
But also, looks like we have Latif here. Um, welcome, Latif. And but when we were all playing along to Buddy, that was fine too. So we could kind of we could hear. Maybe we mute. I mean, we didn't. We didn't. You were. I muted myself, but you didn't, and it wasn't that big a deal. But and I could have unmuted too. But yeah, when we were all playing along, it there wasn't really. I couldn't hear like that big of an issue. But yeah, like there's no way to tell if we're doing it right. So
Right.
like we would have to like every once in a while stop and then do the one at a time thing. But welcome Latif, Buddy Jones. We have a Latif here. He's on mute. But Latif has
Take him
shown
off. Take him off mute.
he has to unmute himself. I've asked him to unmute,
Yeah.
but he either doesn't know where the mute. I think he might be. He unmuted. Welcome, Latif.
Hello, how are you?
Doing
Hello.
good. Doing good. How are you?
Fine.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're right in the middle of this drum lesson, and we are live right now. We went. This is all being documented, and we're on Facebook Live. But just wanted to give you the heads up on that. But yeah, Buddy was just saying that we're trying to meet every Sunday, and right now it's only a few of us, but we're trying to recruit some people. But Buddy, do you want to say anything to Latif?
Yeah. Maybe we should go this way a little bit. Uh, why don't you guys feed to Latif what I was talking about a little bit as you understand it, and then I'll fill it in.
Tina?
Welcome. We're looking at drumming as a unifier, starting with the history of drumming, going back to Africa, and then building on that base to different cultures from around the world, and that we would learn these basic drumming rhythms, and then in time come to a place where we could teach the drum songs. In Toltec culture, there's what's called flor y canto, and what it is flower and song. And so my grandfather, he gave my father a song, and I'm like, Dad, how does he give you a song? Right? I'm thinking, 8 track or something. It's like, no, son, he taught it to me if you want to learn it in the English way, but he didn't have, there was no 8 track for his song. ya he hey hey, ya he hey hey, ya ya he ho hum. He taught it to him. He gave them this song that his
Right,
father gave
right,
him. So then
right,
when my father gave me this song, my father's gone now. My grandfather's gone. My great grandfather are gone. God rest their souls. But because they've given me this song, I can give it to you, and you can give it to whomever you please. So so when I'm long gone, my sons have this song that I've given them that they can give forward. So that it sounds like in line with this vision that Buddy has. So the floor or flower, the combined words in Aztec culture means poetry. Flower and song combined, it means poetry. And so likewise the flower the flower of 1,000 years ago is gone, but it dropped seeds. Those seeds
right,
grew flowers,
right,
and then those flowers bloomed, lived their life cycle, and when before they died, dropped seed. And we have today's flowers, and we'll have tomorrow's flowers because this cycle continues. So that's the concept of flower and song. So as I hear it from Buddy, I'm giving it back to you, kind of my way, in my understanding of it. I'm excited. I welcome you, and I hope that I commit to some longevity here. And I hope I know our group will grow and shrink, and that's just kind of the nature of things. But welcome again, and Justin, you can fill in behind me anywhere I might have missed.
This is our first, real gathering, and we've already learned a lot of the history. We got everyone got here at 6, and so, but and we are kind of wrapping up. But I was just gonna say, maybe, Buddy, should we try to maybe show Latif what we kind of did as far as where we got, we follow you a little bit with the rhythm, and we don't have to do anything super lengthy, but just to kind of um,
we
do that.
can, but what I wanted to put in there is the conversation that you and I had with Latif is that um, we're always anxious to play the drum, but it's just as important that we know where that came from. I mean, it may not be important. I mean, um, you can have a great car and it always starts for you. But if you go out one day and it doesn't start and you don't know anything, you're really in deep doo doo. And that's the same thing with drumming as if you understand the sounds that are being made from drums or any percussion and you listen to them carefully, if you're educated properly, you can identify where that beat is from. That that ability to identify what they're playing also gives you an opportunity to join in. And what that is it's to get a passport, you have to show the group you're willing to pay the same in concert with them. You're not there to disrupt, but to play in concert. And even when you're playing in concert, that might be an accident if you don't really know where it came from. And I thought what uh, Latif can offer us or teach us is in terms of African drumming, um, some historical perspective. One of the things that, and it's in our culture that bothers me all the time, and I'm not even Native American, but too often in our own culture, Native American is music is second class citizen. It's not promoted, and that music was played in this country before African music. I think there's some history that says Africans were here long before Columbus. Um, so having a history of your music is just as important as it is to know what you're playing. Does that sound anywhere like our conversation, Latif?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. No, I was just saying maybe we can kind of demonstrate what we kind of went over, just so that we can kind of get an idea of what the capabilities of Zoom. I'm not saying like let's have a whole long lesson right now, but just because Tino threw out the idea of individually, we kind of you listen to what you do something and then we do it, so you can hear like, oh, you're off a little bit. But I was thinking, when we were playing all together, there wasn't really that much of a lag issue, and then but it's hard for you to tell if we're doing anything right. So that's where his.
Well, as far as that goes, I think we're so new with this technology that it's going to be worked out soon that we can do this kind of thing electronically without getting the lags. So
So we started with the 4 count, and which was great. Um, and I like what you said, because my experience with the band that invited me, and you were correct in assuming I had never heard them play. I've heard some of the songs that they played because they played popular songs, but I never heard them play it. And the lead guitarist, he's a wild man, and he is so courageous to let his soul just strum. And so he just went off, and the guy who was playing backup guitar for him kind of looked at him and just waited, like, 1 or 2 4 counts, and then he came in. But like, I had honestly lost the beat, right? Because I'm like, what is this genius doing, right? But when I watched him, when he came down and he strummed, I'm like, there it is. I
that's it.
heard it. And
That's
then
it.
I knew that's where the 4 count was going to come back in. And I started lightly, and I just, cuz it was kind of fast, right? And then it was like a rock song they were doing, and then I just started to build it. But watching and listening, I was able to play in concert, with concierto, in sync in music
In
with
sync.
them, and it
Yeah.
was a beautiful thing. So even though in the moment it was just kind of instinctual, for me it helps to have an understanding of what happened there, so that I can replicate it, because I knew there was some good things that came of it. What could have been, I don't want to say a mistake, um, ended up coming back together in just some great music. In fact, his partner complimented me after for my timing, which I took as a great compliment. Me being new to the cajon,
Well,
but
you had
just
your
taking what I
passport.
yeah, taking what I had always done with my hands on the steering wheel and on tables and just driving people crazy, finally putting it to a drum, you know? And so yeah, I'm excited. I'm really happy and honored to be a part of this group.
Let's see how this goes here. You two guys are in sync. Follow me. Doot
Doot,
doot
doot,
Dude.
doot
doot,
doot.
doot,
1, 2, 3, 4. Doot
Dum 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 dum
doot
doot,
dum 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 dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum dum dum
doot doot
dagada dum dum dum
doot doot
dum 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 dum
doot
doot,
doot
doot,
doot
dum dum dum
doot
doot,
doot
dagada
doot
dagada dagada
doot,
dum
doot
dum dum dum
doot,
dum
doot,
dum 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 dum
doot
doot,
doot doot
dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
doot,
dum 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 dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dagada 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 dum dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum
doot
doot,
doot doot doot
dum dum dum
doot,
dum
doot,
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot 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 doot
dum 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 dum
doot
dum dum dum
doot,
dum
doot
dum 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 dum
doot
ding
doot
dig it up tap dum
doot doot
dum dum
doot
dum dum
doop,
dum 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 dum
doop,
dum 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 dum
doop,
dum dum dum
doop, 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 doop. Nice,
Okay.
nice. Now, um, is everybody hip to the concept of swirling?
Of what?
Swirling. Can anybody describe that for me? You see a flock of birds, right?
Okay.
And they all are flying, right?
Okay.
Are they flying in one direction?
More or less.
And they're swooping, right? They're going in all kinds of directions. And the theory on that is that there is no leader. What happens is when 50% of the birds tilt in one direction, the others just follow. And they keep doing that. Have you ever watched the birds swirl?
Yes. Fish
Fish.
seem to, no, birds do it too, but to me, fish kind of more in an exaggerated pattern. One goes and the rest just kind of,
Same thing, right?
yes.
Same thing. Now,
Yeah.
what happens in that process, and it happens in jazz, is one of the fish or one of the birds break out, right? And they go out and do some pretty fancy stuff.
Mhm.
The trick is they don't go against the flock when they come back into sync, right?
Okay.
They go in with the flock, whether it's birds or fish, they find a way to come in without disrupting the flow. And I think that could happen, which just happened just now. I mean, you haven't even met or seen Latif, right?
Mm-mm.
And yet we were doing something together,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, you could have started making strange noises rather than the doop. You know, you could have done some. It wouldn't have worked there. But that was pretty cool, Latif. By the way,
Yeah.
just to have that ability to come into what's going on.
Okay.
So what we talked about, Latif, is having a group of people who are committed to. I don't know what you need X amount of weeks to talk and learn drums, and then possibly every now and then find a safe distance place and meet up.
Okay.
Does that sound okay to you?
So lovely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it could work. I think. Yeah, I agree. It's possible.
There's
Well,
there's a park nearby here, and it has
what's here?
Visalia,
Oh, okay.
and well, it's Crestwood, and it has a flat area, but the theater, it's outside. It's horseshoe shaped, and it kind of like goes up in steps.
Uh-huh.
The next seating, it's kind of round like a bench, but it's all one, right? And then the next row is up higher than that. Um, a place like that would have plenty of seating for us to be spaced and still comfortable.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm open to anywhere. I would travel to meet you guys wherever you're at.
Well, what do you think about this? And I'll just throw it out there while you're here, Latif. If we do a Zoom session for an hour, everybody pay $5 or $10, and that would cover Latif's time. If it's $10, that's $60. If it's if it's $10 at 12 people, that's $120 for the hour. And if we had a on-site visit where he had to come, either we go to Fresno or he come here, then it's $20 a student, and trying to get 12 people committed to that. Is that reasonable?
I will share the post on my Facebook, and I'll reach out to some musicians and see if I can recruit any. But you certainly have my personal commitment to what you propose.
Okay. Latif, does that sound reasonable to you?
Come say, come say. I don't, I'm just listening. I'm in a different place. I'm in Fresno.
Yeah, that does create some issues. I mean, I think doing some Zoom stuff, and then eventually maybe we could go up there, because then, and do like the social distance thing that you're talking about. But I feel like the Zoom thing we should try to capitalize on it right now. Because we could get people from anywhere. Depending on how we advertise it. On the open mic stuff, we got people from all over the place, and so if we just we advertise this, but people are kind of busy, and it's the end of the month, and but if we really kind of lay it out, because we were kind of vague, we are just like drum workshop, learn the history and some rhythms. Like we didn't really say who was going to be here or what's going to be learned, and so it maybe providing more details, maybe some lesson plans, a little bit, not full lesson plans, but just some ideas of what may be happening. And then so people know what to expect. And a lot of people are responding to this live video right now already, because we're on Facebook, and a lot of people were saying there's some great conversations happening. So we're on the right path of recruiting, I believe. It's just about how we want to go about doing it. Like we all drum along to you, or whoever is going to be leading at the time, and then you provide some feedback, and then you hear like each of us individually, and you kind of give us some feedback that way. And then how to decide how you want to go about what kind of rhythms and what area the rhythms are coming from and stuff like that. But I don't think we have to rush into any. I don't think we need to rush into deciding anything real like concrete, set in stone kind of thing. Because it's the first meeting. Yeah, we're still kind of brainstorming and seeing where it can go. And I already people have liked what we did that aren't here, and I enjoyed what we've learned already so far. So I think we're on the right path.
Okay. It is my suggestion, before we get really too deep in it, that next week we have Latif. Latif has actual lesson plans, so he knows exactly what he's going to be doing. If he teaches a 6-week course, he knows exactly. To have him talk about that and see what all that entails, and to say, can we have a commitment? Trying to get commitments, and when we get our 10 or 12 people, we'll get started.
Could work, I think. Yeah, they definitely think they could work.
What do you think, Latif?
Okay. I'm just listening. I didn't see what you did in the beginning, so I'm curious. That's all.
We did
well,
4
we can't-
counts.
we can't
and
go
then
up. We'll
we
start
did
again
double.
next week then.
double counts.
Yeah, we'll say 6 o'clock, same time next week. And we'll start from there.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
Tino, do you want to demonstrate what you learned today?
Started with the basic 4 count. And then
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
you went double time. And then it sounded like you went double that.
No, it's the opposite. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2.
Well, buddy, do you want to, maybe you want to lead and then we can kind of follow, so you can, because it sounds like it's a little different.
I'll just play something. You see, can you follow? One. 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 Well, same time. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
Wait. One. Yeah, the lag issue is a little bit troublesome, but I think like what we could do, what Tino suggested is, you do something for 4 counts, and then we kind of respond to that individually. Although that still could create some issues with the lag, but I mean, I think our best bet. It didn't sound so bad. When the very first time we did it, because I think Tino, you were a little bit lower in the mix, and we were just kind of following along to Buddy. But maybe if we kind of mute ourselves, and then we follow along.
Here's what I want to suggest. There may be, but I don't know, somebody who knows more about drumming than Lateef in the Valley. I don't know of anyone who knows more about drumming. And what I'm looking for is an opportunity to learn some things from Lateef, and how we can do that with the Zoom, and how we can make it worth his time. If we can't do that, then I'm willing to stay on and say, let's play till we at least know how to play drum circles on Zoom. We'll learn from each other. But it seems to me that we have an opportunity with Lateef, and we should try to take advantage of that.
I believe, yeah. I mean, just from the conversations, he has a lot of knowledge about a lot of different subjects, and I think it would be pretty cool. Welcome, Robert.
I'm only back for a little while. I actually have something that I need to get done tonight.
All right, yeah. I think
But I'll listen. Huh?
I think we're wrapping up right now. We're just we might do something on Sunday again night.
No, it's not a might. We got to get a commitment. Next Sunday, same time, same station.
Same time, same station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan. If anything changes, we'll update you. But
Sure.
yeah, let's plan on that. 6 p.m. Sunday.
Anything we need to do in the meantime? I missed it.
We can think about maybe recruiting some others that that want to get involved. Thinking of some lesson plans. We got the.
That's it.
I figured we get that. It's been a long time. You're 80. I'm 81 in a couple of weeks.
80, couple of weeks, huh?
81, yeah.
Well,
When are you?
we're in the same school,
When do you turn 81?
July.
Oh, in July. All right, right
The
behind
same
me.
club.
Yeah, right behind me.
And
Hey,
Robert,
we're
we have
we're in the same club, want to do it all, but our legs can't take it.
All right.
Robert. We have Latif with us, who is also in Fresno, and so
Oh, I don't see him. Yeah.
he.
Okay. Oh, I
he's-
see. Oh, there you go. Okay.
But Latif, Robert has taught at Fresno State different subjects involving music and ethnic studies and various other stuff, and has a radio show Fridays at
9 o'clock.
9 on
Red Beans and
KF.
Jazz. KFSR. 90.7 FM.
Do you do interviews also, or just?
Do I do? No, because I record at home.
Okay.
I record on Audacity, and then I email it into the production manager, and he uploads it on the radio.
I was gonna say it'd be nice if you can get an interview with Latif.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What time is your program?
from 9 to noon.
What day? Which day?
Beg pardon?
Which day?
Friday.
On Friday mornings.
Oh, okay.
And it's
9
jazz,
to noon.
primarily jazz, right?
Yeah, traditional jazz.
Okay.
Miles, Coltrane, Ron Carter, my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same school.
but I go through the three major genres of I almost said rap, but from Dixieland to swing, bebop, cool, and electric fusion.
Mhm.
Basically, yeah.
Where did Jerry Mulligan and
All right,
Moses
Abdul.
Alice, where do they fit into that?
I can hear you.
Where was Jerry Mulligan and Mose Allison?
I can't hear you.
I'm not on. No, I'm not on mute. No.
You're just kind of quiet. He said Jerry Mulligan. What music is Jerry Mulligan?
Jerry Mulligan would be bop and some swing. I guess he started out in the big bands and the baritone saxophone. Mose Allison, he's kind of in the cool category because he was a vocalist, a piano vocalist.
Right.
I'm the one, the seven son.
The one they call the Seven Sons.
Yeah. Your mind must be on vacation.
Yes.
That's a funny one he did.
and what's working overtime?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You guys, we're scratching some old files here.
Right.
Latif, were you gonna say something?
No, I was listening.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
listen if you can on Friday mornings.
Friday morning. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna tune in again. You said free jazz. You play free jazz?
Hmm?
Do you play some free jazz on there? You said?
Free jazz?
Yeah. Do you play any of that?
No, just traditional.
Because I started getting a little bit into like Ornette Coleman and Sun Ra. Yeah, I do like.
I do some Ornette Coleman. He did a great concert over there in what was it, Sweden? I think it was that I have one of. Yeah.
See, that's a lesson that we should learn, which is, some of those European countries had a dominance on this music.
Oh yeah.
And we.
When you were talking about Passport, that's one of the first things that came to my mind, because there's this the movie that just came out yesterday, United States versus Billie Holiday.
Right, strange.
Yeah, and they were confiscating passports from jazz musicians and other people like Paul Robeson and
Right.
Billie Holiday and all of these guys were ambassadors. They took that jazz music over to European countries, and a lot of those countries still have these major jazz festivals.
Oh, it's honored in certain countries more than it is here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of them went
Russia's
over
big.
there and even moved there because of the discrimination here.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a trip you can take in Paris. It's called Blacks in Paris.
Yep, right. My daughter took that
What a
tour,
what a wonderful
the
tour.
museum and all. Yeah,
Oh, what a wonderful thing.
I've never been there, right? But my daughter took that. You know, someone was talking the other night, last night about that PBS program on the Black church,
Oh yeah.
and it went into the music of the Black church, and there was a book. I have a photocopy of it, but it's called Green Book, and that was a travel guide for African Americans and especially musicians
Safe
as they
travel.
played. They travel on the buses and cars, and so they had to know where to stop, even for gasoline or for a car repair, because they were on the road for so long. The car might break down. They had to go to find a black mechanic or hotel to stay or family that might take them in, and the restaurants. So this book was it was based on the movie.
Hmm.
Uh, gosh, I can't think of his name now. Don Shirley,
Uh-huh.
classical pianist.
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The
Yeah.
the Green Book.
That was
Yeah,
a good movie, by the way.
that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yes.
They really were brothers by the end. You know.
Hmm.
Hey, listen. Um, we're right on line here because that's what we're talking about. That there's things going on that we forgot about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Billie Holiday is a great example. You know,
Yeah.
my
Right.
next movie is One Night in Miami.
Right.
Yeah, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. I have it on my list there because Golden Globe is on tonight, and I think Regina King might get some kind of recognition, if not an award.
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah,
We're gonna be on the same time, okay, same station next week, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. All right.
All righty.
You
Nice
send out the
meeting you,
ID and
man.
all that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All
See
right.
you
Have a
soon.
good night, fellas.
All
Right.
right.
Good
Yes,
night.
God bless.
All
All
right.
right. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Thank you for sharing everything.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Latif.
You signing us off, huh?
All right.
Hey,
Tino, are you still there?
Yeah.
hey, the one thing that's I'm delegating already is we can't let the Native American music slip into the background. Okay? From where we live right now, the Native Americans should be up front. A couple of best concerts I've played in with Native American retreats, and they let me sit in. Heavy stuff, man. So make sure that we keep that on the front page.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we could try to, recruit some teachers. I know that that could be a little difficult at times to, because of sometimes, it's kind of hard to find. Maybe it might be hard to find a teacher, a Native American drum teacher. But we could always keep our ears peeled for that sort of thing.
There's a lot of them at Tachi Palace, my friend. A lot of drummers.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I believe they have the powwow over there, and so yeah, there are. It's not impossible to find.
They call it the drum circle.
What was it, Tina?
They call it the drum circle.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I believe that we could find someone to possibly come demonstrate some things, which would be pretty cool. To just incorporate.
All right. Catch you later.
And a month from now, I'd like to purchase a cajon from you.
Hey, by the way, the guy who who built these cajons. I'll check and let you know, but I think it's called World Drums. You can
Okay.
Google it. And he's a friend of mine. He's building 6 of them right now. He lives in New Mexico,
Okay.
and he's building 6 of them, and he's building a special one for me. And we're going to have a dedication of that drum up in the Sequoia Parks. And on the dedications, I want the Native Americans to open up the ceremony.
Okay.
So we'll be talking.
Okay.
But when you, let me see here. Where do you live in Visalia?
Yes. Yeah, I'm behind the mall, the Visalia Mall, and the post office.
Yeah, let's hook up a day. I'll give you a book of his
Okay.
with all the drums in it.
Okay.
How's that?
Sounds great.
Good enough. Hey, you want my number?
Yeah.
I put it in the chat, buddy. Or we can email it.
Okay.
Or-
Yeah, we'll email it to him.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay.
all right. Yeah, you can just say it.
All right. 799-6436.
559?
Yes,
Okay. 799-6436.
that's it.
Okay, got you.
Okay. Hey,
All
these are not tourist cajones. They're bad.
Yeah, no, that's what I want. That boom that yours has is what I want.
Okay.
Especially when I do hip hop, right? I need that.
That's a
that
real
808
compliment to
tone.
him. Real
Yeah.
I heard
So
it.
about how much so that I can budget?
I think they're about 2.5, 3.
Perfect. I can
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I can do that.
Alrighty.
That's
Good
fair.
enough.
More than fair.
Mhm.
Okay. Good night, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you, gentlemen. Thank you,
Yeah.
Justin.
Peace, Tina. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Trying to learn the drums, but it's kinda hard, you know, sometimes. But I gotta get someone to teach me all the rhythms, and then I'll hold a beat better in time. And you know, it's gonna be a while till I figure out how to play the drum beats properly. It's gonna be a while. Stay tuned for the next episode. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. we're gonna play a little bit of drums. Bring a drum or bring something else. Pots and pans are okay, and maybe a cardboard box or something. I don't know, whatever you wanna do. Bring it, and it'll be a good time. And we'll see you there. We'll see you next time. Every Sunday night at 6 p.m. I guess that's the plan for now. And if it changes, we will keep you posted. If anything is different, then we'll let you know. We'll let you know. But if you want to learn the drums, come on and hang out with us for a little while. Probably won't be this long, because this is kind of like an hour and 45 minutes is what we've been going for right now. And it's kind of long, but I think usually it'll be only about an hour or so. Probably, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Things will change. I think maybe that we might say the same, but I can't tell you exactly what will happen. You'll just have to be there next time, and it's okay if you can't. I understand. Have a good time, and I'm gonna peace out right now. I gotta hit the road. So peace out. I'm peacing out. So peace out, and have a good night. Have a good week, and have a good life. If I don't see you, have a good time. Have a good life for now. Catch you later, alligator. In a wild crocodile. Now I'm just singing a little bit of those weird little sayings that people say sometimes. I don't really know, but I'm gonna have to head out. So peace out. I'll let you know if anything changes. There's a couple things happening in the near future, and I think you might like them. I'll keep you posted, keep you updated, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. I'll probably post a lot of things on the interwebs, you know, and you can catch a little bit of the videos if you miss the events, which is okay, because everyone's kind of busy, and I understand, so don't worry about it. I'm not tripping if you miss these events. I'm not worried at all, actually. But I hope you can make it sometime, and if not, it's okay. Have a good life and have a good night. I'm heading out, and take care, everybody out there. Peace out. Adios. Peace.